Hi guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to another episode of 90 Day Fiancé Before the 90 Days, Season 3, Episode 4. Also, The Other Way, Season 1, Episode 14. Hey, Snickle Fritz. Who is that? Tiana? Tiana, you keep changing your name and your picture. I never know who it is. Hi, Danny. Hi, everybody. So normally I would be doing morning tea at this time, but this is the deal. So much has happened to me this week. I'm off kilter, and I figured I'm going to do 90 Day Fiancé during this time frame instead of morning tea, because I can do morning tea tomorrow and it's long overdue for 90 Day Fiancé. Also, I'm going to be doing the Jackie Aina challenge. So I have all of my makeup set out and set ready to go. And if I'm talking about bummer stuff, it's going to suck. So we have to jump into Jay-Z. We have to jump into Normani. We have to jump into the hurricane, the rainforest. There's so much going on that and I need to do more research on it before I get on here and try to have an opinion about it. So let's just talk about some trash, you know? All right. I'm glad you guys are here for it. All right. So let me see if I even took notes, because I have just been on you guys have no idea. It's really hard to watch these shows and take notes because you just want to like the show. If you're liking the show, it's harder to take notes unless you watch it twice. And I just didn't have it in me this week to watch it twice. So I only have like the smallest amount of notes. So let's hope that we can get through it. I'm going to be looking over at the comment section. What was that? I'm going to be looking over at the comment section to get your guys' input. I also have my fan, so you'll be hearing that as well. I'm going to go on ahead and wear my glasses, which are crusty. So let's talk about Darcey. I mean, isn't Darcey on everyone's lips these days because of her foolish behavior? I mean, girl. Okay, so we get to Darcey. I got to get something to clean my glasses. And this girl is drunk, okay? She's just like, she is inebriated, okay? She is like, that's the London Bridge. And he's like, that's not the London Bridge. And she's like, nope, it's not the London Bridge. Like, so drunk on camera. You can tell how comfortable she is around. She's so comfortable around the producers and everybody. It's like, girl, get yourself together. And so it's kind of embarrassing. But at the same time, Tom is also not the playboy that he makes himself out to be. Like, if he were a real playboy, then that means to me that he's used to being around women who are drinking situations. And so you think that if he was the kind of guy who didn't like a woman to get drunk, then he would be like, let's do something that doesn't involve alcohol. Or if he was okay with it, he would be supportive of her. But the whole time he seems rather annoyed of her. And that's annoying to me. She says that she's drunk and feeling like a sexy goddess, and that her and Tom have incredible chemistry, which is something that she always says all the time. The girl always says that like, she always says they have incredible chemistry. Her and Jesse had incredible chemistry, which we know they did because he like had sex with her and then tried to lie about it. But we know they did. They had incredible physical chemistry, but her and Tom do not. They don't. We can watch it through the whole episode that they don't have any kind of chemistry. It's just really annoying to watch. So they get back to the townhouse, the Airbnb, and he shows her to her room. So it's one of those townhouses where you come in and it's like the living room and like foyer and everything, right? And she's really impressed. She thinks this is beautiful. And then they go to like the mid-level, and then there's another room with its own bathroom, and then they go up to another level, and that's where the master is. And she sees her room and she's immediately like, no, the energy in here is bad. I don't want to sleep in here. But she loves the house. She thinks that he's rolled out the red carpet for her. And he's just like, that's the bare minimum, Darcey. Like, he's looking down on her because she's excited about this situation, as opposed to him feeling good that she's showing her a good time and she's so happy. And then she gets up to his room. And it's the master suite that he's taken for himself. And she's like, I like the energy in here better. The energy in here is so much better. And then she starts to get upset. And she's like, I don't want to sleep down there. She starts to cry because she feels, oh my God, thank you, Iris, Faye. Thank you so much. Super chat. Lovely. You're lovely. So she gets upset and she starts to cry because she says that she doesn't want to sleep alone. And I'm like, I would rather sleep alone than sleep with this tubby stranger who lied to me about the way he looks, who's obviously not into me. So that's the first time she started crying, number one time, right? Then he's like, okay, Darcey, I'll sleep with you. I'll sleep with you. And in a confessional, she's like, what am I going to do? Just cuddle? Like, she's like, I'm a grown-ass woman. I came all this way. We're just going to cuddle? Is that what we're about to do right now? And to a certain extent, I 100% like get where she's coming from. But at the same time, I just don't know what it's like to be as vulnerable as she is. And I've known women in my life who are as vulnerable as she is. And I'm a little envious of them because I don't know how to be that vulnerable. I feel like sometimes it gets you what you want and sometimes it doesn't. And Darcey is a prime example of when it doesn't get you what you want. But I know plenty of women who cry and men just suck it up like it's fucking ramen noodles. You know what I'm saying? They just eat up those tears and feel like the white knight coming in on a horse, saving a hoe, and they love it. Darcey is getting the opposite, which is what I think I would get, which is why I just can't break down to cry in front of a man over some bullshit. Like, I would have to be inebriated, which I would never be because of the migraines. So when they go downstairs, right? So not to the living room, but even below that, there's like a basement level and it's got some nice cushy couches and they get down there and he offers her yet more wine. And this is where I'm like, Tom, this is you. Like, you're making this choice to feed her more wine as opposed to getting y'all some bread and like oil and vinegar or something, you know, some like balsamic vinegar oil, some cheeses, something to coat her belly. No. You're going to give her more wine. So she takes the wine and then she starts to cry again because she says how sweet it is and how amazing he's being her. And she just never in her life. And then he just stands there and he says that her crying is unattractive and he just looks at her. He doesn't even reach over to hug her. And I'm like, you're not a playboy. Because a playboy would know what to do. At least hug her. Like, you're just mean and callous. Like, you're not loving. You're not the James Bond. You're not that all those things that she needs her to be, that she wants you to be. Not. Oh, hi, Ernestine. Thank you so much for the super chat. All right, what are you guys saying? Hi, greetings, Wa from the Netherlands. Ah, hey, welcome. She's a hot mess. Kimmy! Oh, Kimmy, I haven't seen you in so long. Where have you been? I haven't seen anything on Instagram. Where have you been in my life, Kimmy? What have you been doing? Getting your doctorate? You know, like learning, education, and like growing as an individual, you know, traveling. What are you doing? Thank you everybody who's in the live right now. You guys are amazing. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to, someone just put that he's British. And I think like that's not necessarily true. There are plenty of like, you know, loving British movies, you know. I know the Brits to be very huggy. I've met a couple of them and they're very huggy, lovey individuals, the ones I've met. So like to me, that's not, he's not like he's like super posh where he's like raised with like the nanny and doesn't know how to give affection because that's not what the upperclassmen do. Like he's not that person. So it's just weird to me. Hey girl, everybody's coming in the room. Thank you guys so much. All right. So he then puts her to bed and she wakes up in full face. I don't know if she went to sleep with her makeup on, but he finally gets her in the bed. She's wearing his shirt and she's like, I don't know what happened last night, but I woke up in his shirt. So, and I'm just like, oh God, girl. Like, did you brush your teeth? Did she brush her teeth and put lipstick on and then do a confessional? Because it was weird. And then he like had a piece of tissue up his nose and he says that in her sleep, she hit him. And I think Darcey was taken aback by it because one, she doesn't believe that she hit him because she's very embarrassed about it. But two, she's also like, if I did hit you, why would you tell me on camera? Like, I think she's feeling like it's a Jesse and you threw the shoe at me moment. And she's just like, you're not going to get me to admit that I did anything to you. Like, am I a wild sleeper? Did I hit you? And like, what, like, no. And even in the confessional, she's like, well, there's no mark. So, because he's like, oh, you gave me a bloody nose. And she's like, well, you don't have a black eye. Like, she is like doing her detective work. And she's just like, I'm not taking responsibility. And part of me is just like, that's kind of rude. Why wouldn't she just be like, yeah, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I'm sorry. But at the same time, like, why is she so like, it feels like a weird thing to deny because you don't know what happened last night because you were sauced, you know? It's just weird. It's weird. Kimberly Mayfield says, Darcey reeks of desperation and Xanax. Listen, Xanax has saved my life a time or two. But I mean, yeah, like she just, there's just something that I relate to her, but then I don't at the same time. Thanks, Boss Babe. Thank you. Boss Babe says that I'm amazing. Hey. So anyways, they wake up the next day and they go on a date. She gets ready faster than I think I've ever seen her get ready. But Mama puts on some 5-inch heels that she cannot walk in. And then I'm annoyed again. Like, girl, don't put on your... I mean, if you want to wear a heel, you can. But don't put on 5-inch, like, Louboutins that you cannot walk in. Like, get your ones with the platform that take that 5 inches into, like, 4 inches. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know they're not in style anymore, but sis, like... seeing her hobble around, like slowly step down, like, you know, there are times when I understand that she needed help. Like, I get it because you're wearing those high shoes, but like, Tom is not the person that's going to help you. He's not that perfect English gentleman. So they get on a boat. They're on the Thames River. And he's like, look, we need to get to know each other because, like, I want to know. I've let go of all of my girls. It's been about 5 weeks. I've let them know that I'm pursuing something with you. And then Darcey starts to realize that she and Tom are not on the same page. She thought Tom was her boyfriend, and she's expecting to be proposed to while in London. And that's not what's happening. For Tom, she is this person that he's been talking to and he's known for 4 years, but they never actually linked up. And he was a shoulder to cry on about Jesse. And now that Jesse's out of the picture, she is wanting to be with him. But he's like, no, I have to get to know you. And so she's annoyed by it. And it's weird to me that she's annoyed by it. She's like, oh, I just, 4 years of talking. And I'm like, bitch, you were in a relationship with other people. Like, it just doesn't like stop and start and stop and start. Like, he becomes your boyfriend. Like, what world are you living in? But I guess for her, it did. And she's just like awkward and disappointed about it. And it's weird to watch because you're just like, why would you think that you guys are together? You guys have never had that conversation. You're telling producers, the world, everyone, America, that he is your boyfriend, Tom. He is your 007. He is your British white knight. And Tom is just like, I find Darcey, very emotional and unattractive, and she's beautiful, but like that crying, and I'm just like, girl, you don't need that man at all. Okay, so that's really all that I have to say about Darcey and whatever his name is. Let's move on to Tim. Oh, Esmeralda. Can I get your mailing address? I made something for you and Chris. Yes. Let me find it. It is. What did I do with it? I got to get the zip code. It's P.O. Box 7266, San Bernardino, California. Let me look for it. Anyways, I'm going to continue talking about it while I look for it. Who are they? Who am I talking about? Oh, Tim and Jennifer, I think her name is. The girl from Colombia. Okay, so we have Tim and Jennifer. I put on my notes that he just looks like a rock star. When he gets off that plane, he looks like a straight up little metro rock star. I mean, he looks so good. I was just like, okay. Really good picture too. Like he looks very handsome in pictures, but you'd have to be around the aura of him to kind of get that like beta male, he's got really rocking on in real life. So he puts on some eye patches because he doesn't want to look tired when he gets to see Jennifer. We meet Jennifer girl, and I immediately love her. She's working out. I mean, I don't know if she put oil in her hair to make it seem like she had been sweating that much, because I felt like her whole outfit would be sweaty if her hair is as like drenched with water as it was. She is ready for these cameras. I love how some of these foreign women are ready for these cameras. Okay? They have a story in mind. They speak enough English. They like have like I mean she had the intro that I think Anfisa probably would have loved to have had Anfisa been more up on game. Like this, like I feel like Jennifer is giving me Anfisa like season 5 of 90 Day Fiancé or Happily Ever After, whatever their last season was before he went to prison, where she had all these shots of her in like bodycon dresses and like Louboutins, you know what I'm saying? Like red bottoms, you know what I'm saying? Like that is what I think. Oh my God, Carl finally caught a live show. Thank you for all your great commentary. Thank you, Carl Frederick. Oh yeah, I gotta put in my address real quick. Okay, yeah. So someone just said she's a camera hog. Tim's ex will forever be an issue. I said beta male. Ramsterdam. I didn't mean to say alpha male if I did. My brain said beta male, which is what I thought came out of my mouth, but it's fine. So Jen is amazing. She's beautiful. She's working out. She says she comes from a family of boxers. She's 25. She has an ex-husband. She has a baby whose name is Violetta. Her name is like Itka Violetta or something like that. It's beautiful. She's cute. She's a year and a half old. And so she's ready for love. And so she like talks about the chemistry with Tim and getting to meet him. And she says the chemistry's not right. She's not dealing with it. And I'm like, yes, girl, you keep your options out for you. Oh my God, Latasha Hudson, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much. So yeah, like I just feel, oh my God, Amanda. Hi, Wa. I watch all your videos. This is the first live I caught. I'm in London. Oh, London town. The Brits are here. Oh, the Brits. Love you guys. Love you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Love and Life says Tim is a gay type to me. You know what? Had I watched this show 5 years ago, I think I would be more inclined to be like, oh, he's gay. But like, there's just so much happening on the spectrum these days, and people are just allowed to dwell in whatever space they choose to dwell in. Now, some of those spaces I can't go into and dwell with you if that is your bag. You know what I'm saying? So like, Tim is not giving the right energy for me. I won't say that he's gay because he doesn't say that he's gay. You know what I'm saying? He is in a relationship with women who have children. That is his thing. He likes to do that. And so like, I'm just like, you know what? And if these women are finding satisfaction with him and because they are alpha women who desire a beta male, then like, you know, there's a place for everybody. All right. So that's why I'm hesitant to say, like, I've been seeing a lot of comments about him and other like, so there's been comments about him and Maria. There's like, and the comments are bordering on transphobia. And I don't know if the audience recognizes that they're being transphobic. And I think it could be because maybe a lot of the people aren't from areas where there's a trans community, but I have trans friends. And so when people say things like, oh, Maria is a man, that is offensive. Or when they say things like Tim is like a woman, like that becomes offensive because even if that's the case, what does that have to do with anything? And also they're not, right? They are trans. So they're not, in my opinion, and in my like liberal mindset, if someone presents themselves as a woman and they tell me that they're a woman, I'm inclined to respect that and say that they're a woman. Now you can think otherwise. That is transphobia. You're allowed to be transphobic, but I'm not saying that you are at Love and Life. I'm not saying that you are at all. I'm just saying that just brought up some thoughts. And so I've been meaning to comment on it because I don't want to like delete comments and like be mean to people. I just want to like explain my stance. And then from here on forward, if I do get comments that are like, that are transphobic, I will delete them because there are trans people who watch me, right? And I don't want my comment section to not be a safe space. If you think someone is trans, then you can say that, but I also don't think it's a dirty word. And I think that it depends on Caesar's experience. Like if you want, you know, to each his own. Anyways, so Tim, okay, what's her name? Jennifer. I think that's all about Jennifer, right? I know I went on a soapbox for a little bit, but anyways, Tim is giving me Metro. Yes, thank you, Lisa Collins. He's giving me Metro, which is something that we used in the 90s when we referred to like men who are a little bit more like, it's like, what do we call black men who are Metro? I mean, they're not Metro. What do we call them? We call them not ladies men. They're pretty boys. It's like a pretty boy like that, you know? Anyways, so I'm going to put in my address right now. Jennifer's lovely. I like her. And I like the fact that she's ready for these 90 Day Fiancé streets. Like Larissa, she's ready for reality TV in a good way. So then we have Tim getting off the plane with that giant ass teddy bear. He looks great. Jennifer is satisfied, and she's doing everything she can while in the car with him to kind of open him up and make him comfortable. But he's not comfortable sitting in the backseat of that car. I can't imagine how small that car is if he is uncomfortable in it, because he seems like he's the smallest man ever. But I just think he's nervous because in the inside he's like, I'm a nerd who just like kind of like got all this money, and now I use this money to impress people. And I don't know how she's going to feel about me. But Violetta loves him. You know, Violetta, here's my address. I put it in there. Violetta loves him. Violetta is like, you brought me this teddy bear. You the homie. Period, point blank. Now, something awkward was happening with the filming of them in the car. I really do feel like they filmed it in 2 different shots because one, Violetta is not there, and one, she is. And I highly doubt that her mom has taken her out of the car seat because the bear is in front of her, right? So like, where is she? If that isn't a refilm, where is she? Is she sitting in the front seat with the driver? Like, it got refilmed twice. And so I think maybe they put it in so that they can add her being mad at Tim. Like when Tim announces that Veronica called, I think that was something that happened afterwards. Because I don't imagine he would be, I mean, we know he's dumb, but I don't imagine that he would be dumb enough to make that announcement to Jennifer upon first meeting her, right? That seems like something that he would announce later on once they got home. And then the producers were like, this is great. Let's get back in the cab and pretend like you said this right away. Because she is kind of annoyed with him. Like sometimes Violetta's in the car. I tried to watch it really closely to see if I was wrong or right. And I might be wrong, but that's just my initial theory. And also, yeah, Veronica is a troublemaker. She is absolutely there to stir the pot. That is why she's in this show, because otherwise it wouldn't be interesting. Tim is not interesting. The only thing interesting about him is that he's got 2 hot women with kids that aren't his that are fighting over him. And you're just like, who and why? Where in the world, Carmen Sandiego? Who? Why were you fighting over this man? Because he has a lot of money? Maybe. But also he just seems like he's like, well, I'll just buy you whatever you want. He doesn't seem like somebody that you can like really have a partnership with because he just like wants to like give whatever. All right. So you guys are talking about David Beckham, but let's see what Krasi says. Hello from my part of the world. I've never made it to a live stream because I'm in Bulgaria, and we've had such big hour differences. Well, I love your videos and comments. Oh, Bulgaria in the house. Represent, represent, represent. Let's see. The bear was as big as him, says Lisa Morris. It was. Christina says, I thought the baby wasn't strapped into the car seat the whole time. So when we couldn't see her, I figured she was crawling on the floor. I don't think that her mom would let her do that. She's too young. Sin says that I make her day. Hi, Sin. Thank you. I had a friend in college who went by Sin, who spelled it like that. Her name was Cynthia too. Amanda says, yes, you're right. Why is he setting himself up like that? What the F is his deal? Sarah says, Tim seems like a really good and involved father. Why else would his ex so desperately want to keep him around? Nina says, hi, Wa. Hi, Nina. Lehman says, Wa, hey, love your reviews. Oh, there's something in common. We both, Kaiser, LOL, I'm in VA. Oh, it's Kaiser Permanente, the hospital. I love it too. Okay, so anyways, so that's it for that. They get into an argument in the car because she's like, there's no other reason why this woman would contact you. We need to know all these things for you because unless she's your mother or your wife, so which is it? And I'm just like, you know what? Chris says that she agrees with that. I don't agree with that because there are people in my life, there are males in my life that I love or I like, that I find that I love, and not like in a sexual way. That if they told me that they're going to fucking, I had a friend who went to Dubai to meet up with a girl, and I asked him if he was okay. He gave me his flight information, you know what I'm saying? And he gave his mom his flight information, and I just, I knew he was supposed to touch down, I texted him and to say if he was okay. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. He's just my friend. And I knew he was going there to meet up with a girl, and there was like, chance of heartbreak. And I was just being supportive. So like, I don't agree with that. I think that, you can have a friend. Now, I mean, obviously Veronica's situation is different than he and I's situation, but what I'm saying is that doesn't necessarily mean those things. So that's all I'm saying. All right. So I think that's really the end of their thing. They got into an argument, and that's the end of their interaction. And she says that he's not like Latino men because he wasn't all over her. He says that he could barely move in the car and he had just hit his head, so he wasn't feeling well. And okay. But I still think he isn't probably as she wanted him to be. I imagine that she's like, Latin men are like, la, 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 la. Kind of like, what's his name? What's his name from Antonio Loves Me. I love Antonio. Antonio from, oh, thank you so much. Greeting from Holland. Oh, thank you so much for the 10 euros. What's her name? From 90 Day Fiancé, when she went to Spain to meet up with Donna. Thank you so much for the super chat. You guys are super chat heavy today. Oh, love it. I love it. Courtney, thank you. Woo! Me, Shannon. Courtney and Antonio. Remember when Courtney and Antonio were in the cab together, and Antonio kept trying to like be touchy-feely with Courtney, and she just wasn't feeling it because she was hot and sweaty? Like, I think that is what Jennifer was expecting, you know? You guys agree with me? You see what I'm talking about? Yeah, that model guy, Antonio. I think what men are a little bit more like, oh, my connection. My connection is bad. Sorry, you guys. Sorry. Am I back? There's 417 people in this room. What are you guys all doing on a Wednesday? This is how I know that this isn't a this is how I know that this isn't a morning tea, because if this video were marked morning tea, it would be 100 of us and we'd be all snuggled together just talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce, you know? Thank you guys for being in this room. Oh my God. Thank you for the likes too. 419 people in this room. Jana Lynn just entered the room with a $12 super chat. Thank you so much, Jana Lynn. You guys are amazing. You guys, give this video a thumbs up if you like it so more people can see it and get in on the kiki. I'll also put it on Instagram just real quick because we still have a couple more comments to talk about. Hey guys, it's Wahima and I am live on YouTube. Look how many people are in this room. 420 people are in this room. That's a great number. You guys should absolutely come in this room right now. Okay? Wahima Lino, 90 Day Fiancé. We're having the Kiki, YouTube. Check it out. Just call me Wah. Okay? Do it. All right. Hey guys. Let's tag all this. Okay, so I'm going to tag while talking. All right. So the next couple, anything else about them? All right, great. So the next couple that we're going to talk about is Akini and Benjamin. Akini and Benjamin. Okay, so we meet Akini. It's so cute. We also meet Benjamin's son again, and they have such a cute relationship that I was just like, oh my God, he seems like a really good dad, and that makes me very happy. It makes me very happy. And the one thing I have to say is that I was absolutely wrong. And I thought Akini would be so open to taking care of that man's baby because I said, there's no way. She knows that he has a son. Of course she's going to be with open arms. I was wrong. I was wrong. I 100% admit that I was absolutely 100% equivalent, like so wrong, so wrong. She's just like, I hope he doesn't expect anything from me. Yeah, I don't feel like that's my place. I just want to be his friend, which I think is a great place to start. I mean, because I think it is a thing to ask her to be a stepmom at what, 24? She's really young. And so he's getting ready. He's got his sister and someone is taking him to the airport. after he says goodbye to his son. He doesn't want to tell his son exactly what he's going to do in Kenya, but they do have a little bitty conversation about it that's really cute. So his sister drops him off at the airport. He gets on the plane. Girl, it takes him like 30 some hours to get to Kenya, child. That is so serious. It's a serious travel. So then we cut forward 24 hours prior to Akini. Akini has her sister's on point, her bestie's on point, and all the supplementary characters in Akini's segment was great, okay? She had pictures of her dad. She painted the picture for us. She said, 1, if he can't get along with my brother, and it's not going to work because my brother is the one traditionally who's supposed to introduce him to my dad for my hand in marriage. 2, if there is no chemistry between him and I, it can't go anywhere because I'm not going to deal with any chemistry. 3, I've really never been around white people. In fact, I don't think I have at all. I don't think she has at all. And I'm just like, Chris and I were talking about, like, when I went to Japan, I felt a sense of like, not that I don't want to grow up in America. Not that I think that growing up in America was a bad experience. It's the best place, I think, for me to have grown up. Because of all the things. But how much sense of self, sense of pride, sense of standard of beauty, even though I know it's still colonialism does affect a lot of Black countries, but like, y'all, to meet Black people who've never been around white people, who've not had to deal with the like racism, you know, covert or overt racism, who haven't had the lineage of like just the way that like descendants of the descendants of American slavery have had to deal with, like just the way that generations of Black people who come to this country have had to deal with. Like, it's crazy for her to say things. And then it's crazy for her to have never had that and to have such a like, ooh, white people are so interesting. Because when her friend was saying that Akini likes to watch white movies, like I was like, what do you mean white movies? Oh yeah, all movies are white. Like all movies in my world are basically white. And then there's pockets of movies that aren't white, right? And so we like cling on to those pockets of movies that aren't white so that we could see some kind of like diversity. But like everything is like portrayal of white society, community, whatever. Either it's good and upscale or it's bad and it's not upscale. So you have like, you know, Funny Three's Company, and you have like what's that show called? What did I watch with Michael J. Fox when I was younger, and he was like the little Republican in a liberal family. Anyways, you have that show, and then you have something like Roseanne, and then you have like all movies and stuff. But to grow up in a country where that's not the case, and like there's Nollywood, and there's all kinds of like Black industry where they're telling Black stories and or African stories or tribal stories or whatever kind of stories they're telling on cinema and in TV, having that and just knowing that like that is your culture is just so, it has got to be so like solidifying. You know? So anyways, that's what I was thinking about. And so her friend is like, she just likes white people. And I'm like, that's so interesting. And like, is it kind of a fetishy thing? Because if it is a fetishy thing, that's kind of weird. And like, I wouldn't want that for Benjamin, you know, but for him, it could be a fetishy thing too. You know, I just feel like the whole fetishy thing is kind of awkward. And so I don't like to like, I'm like, no, let it just be like souls. You like each other's souls and spirit. Anyways, I'm sorry, I went on a tangent. But so she's talking to her sister. Her sister's like, how are you going to tell this to dad? Like, what's going to go down? The sister explains everything to us. She has great hair. Akini's hair is great. Then she goes to the market to meet with her homegirl, Connie. And Connie is just like, I wish Akini the best. I hope there's chemistry. I hope they bond. And so it's just kind of like they're all waiting for Benjamin to get there. And Akini is so nervous. She's like talking about her stomach doing flips and she wants to throw up. And she's on her way to pick him up from the airport. And I don't think she's ever been to the airport. I believe that's what she said. And then she's like, I have to introduce him to my brother, and I hope my brother likes him. I hope I like him. So she gets to the airport, and they have like this chemistry, and they kiss. And I'm like, I think they do like each other. She's like, oh my God, you're real. And he's like, yeah, I'm real. And she's like, oh, you're like taller than I expected, and you're a little bit more rounder. And like, yeah, me too. I was like, I didn't notice his belly until he was in Kenya. Like, I was just like, what? Oh, he's a little bigger. Okay. What are you guys saying? Beth says Akini is adorable. I love her. Nina Forever says colonialism has wreaked havoc back home too. Jacqueline. Thank you so much, Jacqueline, for the super chat. Snickle said last night I said the same thing about don't let go being different, but a Caucasian Maid says, I've seen it all before. I just held my tongue. A. Hamilton said, a hair comment sent me over. Have some pride, Akini. The hair comment sent me over. Oh, I don't think she wasn't having pride. I think she was just like looking at him as in like, I've never been up close and seen someone like you. Like, I'm going to be honest. The first time I saw straight pubic hair, I was like, it grows straight? Like, I literally went and told my friends, his pubic hair is straight, like bone straight. Like, just, it's just, those are like, those are just things that like you never think of. And then all of a sudden you're like, thank you so much, Felicia. Thank you so much. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. She's like, oh my God, your hair is straight and soft. It's so different than mine. Like, so weird. Like, oh, this, like, you're just noticing the differences, like, I don't think it's anything cause to be like up in arms about. She just doesn't know, A feverish fiend says, I feel like she might feel she has chemistry with him at first, but then down the road, he will annoy her. Yeah. I think it's going to be like a up and down roller coasters when their culture and their whatever comes into play, right? And he might not live up to what it is that she's expecting. And then a producer asks her if she thinks that he's rich, and then she says, I assume all white people are rich. And I think that's just like what I think a lot of people around the world think. So, there's that. But I mean, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, All right. I don't blame every white person, but I've got a lot of older relatives who really suffered and thus aren't willing to be open-minded. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. People have their experiences and they should be allowed to have. Oh, I forgot I was doing this. I didn't even post it. All right. Let me do it. Let me post this really quick for people to come to this live. Girl, she totally forgot. All right. I don't have a link in bio, so they're just gonna have to search me. No. Hey guys. Okay. Done. Ali Wong, girl. I love Ali Wong. She posted this picture of herself. Look at this girl. Have you guys watched her show, her movie on Netflix? Yes. Yes, sis, you better come through. Okay, sis. Okay. All right. Nyla Spoon, thank you so much. Or Spooner, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much. On Shantina, sorry, this isn't morning tea. I needed to do 90 Day Fiance. But don't worry, morning tea is going to happen at some point. I just need to do my research. Okay. So Akini and Ben, we're done with them. We like them. Attraction or no, not because you're white, because you're a dork. Oh, he was saying that he feels like she might not be attracted to him, going back to Ben, that she might not be attracted to him because he's white. I said, I don't think that is it. I think it's because you're a dork. Like, I think she might not be able to handle. It's the same way like Paul is kind of like a dork. I mean, not kind of, he absolutely is. But like, I think it's that. It's less about him being white. Okay, so let's move on to Omar and Avery. So we have Omar and Avery. They are in Lebanon and they are going out to have dinner. And there's a scene where she rolls her stuff or rolls a suitcase into his room. And I think it's because she bought a lot of presents for his like family. I saw like a doll. I saw different items. Excuse me. So she came bearing gifts, which I think is nice to impress the family. Thank you, Snickle. And Tiana. Thank you, Tiana. And so I thought that was like nice, good for her. So they go out for dinner because mom wants to celebrate. Oh no, sorry, the wedding dress. They go to get the wedding dress and mom doesn't want Omar to go because mom doesn't want Omar to stop her from getting a dress that she wants to get. Mom is really trying to bring the old Avery back. And so they get to the dress shop and Omar's like, yes, I like this. No, I don't like that, And so she's trying on dresses. I thought the purple one was cute. But there was something about it that I was like, nah, I don't think with her coloring it's going to work. And then, because she has really great blue eyes, I don't know. But the dress that she liked and her mom liked, which was form-fitting and Omar didn't like, was cute. But I still thought the one that she picked was beautiful. Like, it was still beautiful. And I think her mom is just trying to do too much. Mermaid, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. I think that our mom is just doing too much. And I know that it's helpful for the storyline, but I don't like it. I don't like it. So anyways, I thought the dress was beautiful, and I'm just like, girl, I want me a sparkly dress. Oof, just for life, not for wedding, but just for life. So her mom ended up buying the dress, and it was great. Then they went out and had dinner, and she's like, Avery, why don't you order a glass of wine? Let's celebrate. And I'm just like, there are a couple of things wrong with that. One, you know, she's Muslim and she doesn't drink. Now, not to say that all Muslims don't drink, or, you know, he's just a very conservative Muslim. You know, I know Muslims who do drink, who, you know, do have fun, gamble, and like do other things like that, smoke, you know, hookah, you know what I'm saying? So she's like, Mom, I don't. And Omar gets a little like upset. And then he's like, you know, it's not that I'm stopping her from drinking because I just don't like drinking. It's because it's harmful. And her mom is looking at him like, well, in America, we can have a drink. And he's like, no, but I want you to understand that the reason why I don't want her to drink is because it is harmful. And I'm just like, I don't understand why the mom is acting like there's not sects of Christianity who doesn't allow drinking either, who doesn't want their parishioners to drink. Not to say that she wanted Avery to get drunk, but I mean, a glass of wine, and you haven't had a glass of wine in a long time, can get you a little sauced. Also, Avery's only 19 years old. If she were in the US, she would not be able to drink. And her mom says, if I had offered you a glass of wine 2 years ago, you would have been all over it. And she's like, well, that isn't 2 years ago. And then I'm going, you were offering her a glass of wine at 17? I mean, maybe that happens, and maybe I'm just not aware of it. Like, I know people who sip or steal drinks like when they're young at like family parties. I just never was that person. And so like but definitely my parents wouldn't have offered me a glass of wine. And I just was like confused as to why all of a sudden her mom is offering a 19-year-old a glass of wine. I mean, I don't know what the legal age limit is in Lebanon, but and maybe her mom is so young and progressive that she's just like cool with it. I mean, I just don't know. What do you guys think? She is 19 in the US. She can't drink. Sarah says, Mom was being incredibly disrespectful to Omar and daughter's chosen religion. I think he handled this response with a lot of patience. Emilia says, although it's coming off as ignorant, I do understand how the mom is feeling. At the end of the day, that's her baby, and she's doing and going to say anything to bring her back home. Okay. Thank you for that point of view. Thank you. That's good. Okay. I just think that for her, I just thought that like Avery have a glass of wine thing was a little extra, you know? So then he orders everything that I want. He orders tabbouleh, he orders hummus, he orders like, girl, I just was like, I actually have hummus downstairs and I'm about to go jump into it, you know, while I'm doing my makeup. Okay. So that happens. And I think that's the end of their segment. I think that's all I put. 19. Oh, and no, that's not all that happens, girl. She busts out her phone and starts to look up the most conservative Muslim. Like I can't remember what sect he said it was. It starts with an H. And he was like, that's that sect. I'm not a part of that sect. I would never do that. That's not what I would do. And she's like, well, that's what it says. That's what it says. And I'm like, if you were to Google, like, I don't know, what is a like extreme sect of Christianity? I mean, you really can't even Google them. But if you were to Google like certain groups of Christianity in the US, you would have those people who like stand on the corner with like God hates, you know, gays and stuff like that. You would have extremists. And of course, they're going to latch onto the extremist point of view and like talk about the beheadings, talk about the beatings, talk about all these things. And Avery comes through with the Old Testament. She's like, check the Old Testament. And I was like, girl, if you don't come through with your knowledge, because her mom is bringing up things that aren't even relevant in the kind of culture that Omar has grown up in, instead of asking the questions and being like, hey, you know, this is what I read. It's kind of scary. Can you tell me a little bit about your sect of Muslim? Like, do you guys follow this? Like, you know, whatever. And let him explain himself before you go immediately on the defense. And it's like, are you going to hit my daughter? And it's just like, there are many Christian men who hit their daughters too. I mean, who hit their wives, you know? It just was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. And it was just like, oh man. It's like you're a bad representation of, who said that? Somebody said, I think it was Sumit. I think it's Sumit who was like, you know, hey, you're making Indians look bad on television. But somebody else said it too. And I just was like, you're just making yourself look bad. Like you are, especially when like poor Omar is just like blindsided because he doesn't necessarily know what your opinions of Muslim are. And you just explained it to him, right? Like he doesn't necessarily have a very clear idea of how an American woman would take a Muslim man. You know, I just think it's too much. Okay, let's move on. Oh God, it's been 45 minutes. Oh my God, 549 people in this room, 200 likes. Yes, you guys are lovely. I love this crowd. I love it. Okay, who am I missing? Who am I missing, you guys? Fatima says that she thinks their segments are scripted. Fleecy the sheep says, imagine if the other way around, we would say, well, that's just the mom's culture. Who's next? I don't know who else I'm talking about, you guys. It's the Wednesday crowd. Mon Cherie says, one thing no one ever mentions in this show is how often it's older people preying on younger people. It's gross. Some Hispanics hit their kids doesn't mean we all do. Relax. Oh, you guys are having another conversation. Ivy Primrose says super religious people overall, no matter what faith, really are really mean-spirited and controlling. Charisma says Pedro's mother said that about the family Chantel. Oh yes, that's what happened. Pedro's mom did say that about. Thank you so much, Charisma. That's exactly what happened. I've been watching the family Chantel on the low, and just kind of talking about it on Instagram. Girl, it's good, but I can't do a review on it. Anyways, Aladin. Okay, thank you, Caesar. Thank you, Corey and Evelyn. Thank you. Okay, great. All right, Corey and Evelyn. Is Corey and Evelyn? Corey and Evelyn's the other way. Caesar. So Lisa, we will get to the other way. Oh shoot, I forget we're supposed to talk about the other way as well. Oh shit. All right, girl, I gotta start putting on makeup. Okay. Caesar is an idiot, and he took his dumb ass all the way to Cancun. And Larissa, Maria hasn't talked to him in 2 days. She's read off his messages but has not responded to him, and he is just running on hope. And it is so sad and sorry to see. And if the people are right, and this is all him being an actor, I want him to get the fucking Academy Award of reality TV, because he is so good at looking dumb at the camera that I just 100% believe that he's this idiot. Like 100% believe that he's this idiot. He lost his baggage. They set that up too. It's like he was in custom for 17 hours. Then he goes to the baggage claim. The carousel isn't moving. The one next to it isn't moving. There isn't a soul for miles around. He's like, my luggage is gone. I'm like, because you left it there for 5 hours unattended. Someone saw something, so they said something, and now the bomb unit has it. Like, what do you mean? No one is for miles around in this baggage claim area, bro. Like, that was so scripted and dumb. It was annoying. It's like, what? What do you expect me to believe? Oh my God. So he's in Cancun without his bag, waiting for Maria, who hasn't responded to him. And it's just a sad, sorry state. Homeboy hasn't paid any of his bills. He still has that nail polish on his nail. Like, it's a sad series of events. That's all I got to say about them. All right. And somebody told me who the last person was. Let me go back up. Oh, Caesar. Jiggy. Great. Laura and Aladin. So it turns out that Laura is real tight with Aladin's family. I was not expecting that. I had no idea. Apparently, his sister passed away, and she was there fully 100% supporting of him. And so I was in support of their relationship, and I don't know what changed, because I just feel like Laura is a waste of time for him. Like, I feel like, and I don't know where this came from, because I was really supportive, but I was just like, you can't offer him anything. You're in Qatar, you're complaining, it's hot, you look a hot, sweaty mess, like you're miserable and unhappy. And like, you're just taking this 30-year-old, like, specimen off the market. Maybe I'm jealous. Maybe I just want him to like, I don't know, girl. I don't know. Like, I just am like, I feel like you're wasting his time. I feel like, how could he possibly, like, what are you guys like? And I don't think that about Ginny and Sumit, and I don't know what the difference is. I need to like do some soul searching about it because I really honestly don't know what the difference is. I did already talk about Kristen. I did already talk about Darcey and Tom. So maybe he is going to get other wives. But anyways, she has such a great relationship with his family. They hugged her and they seemingly are very accepting of her, you know, and he was so kind and sweet to his family. And it was just so lovely to see. His mom slept in the same room with them because even though they're already married on paper, like traditionally, you know, they shouldn't be in the same bed. There's a baby there that is just so cute. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe that, I don't know why I'm like involved in their reproduction because it really is none of my business. But I saw him with that baby and I just was like, Laura could never give him that unless they got a surrogate. And like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm having like baby fever that I'm thinking about lineages and families and all this stuff. And I come from a big family and I have lots of cousins and everybody has kids. And I'm just like, everybody has kids, you know, it's my own personal thing and it really has nothing to do with it. So I do wish them the best, but that was my thought on this episode. And I think that's it. They went to Tunisia to have a 3-day wedding, and she's a little uncomfortable in Tunisia because she says that it's not like Qatar. Qatar is like first world and rich, and Tunisia isn't. But the part of Tunisia that I saw with Rebecca and the other one doesn't look that crazy. But I mean, who knows? We're not seeing the whole city. But even so, like, I'm going to Guatemala in September and I'm going to love it. You know, I'm going to Belize and Guatemala. And so to me, like a world that doesn't have a country that doesn't have as much infrastructure and isn't as quote unquote developed isn't something that I shy away from. I'm just like, things are cheaper. Like, that's what I think. And I'm here to like give money to like, to the tourism. Like, I feel like it's a benefit. Like, you want to go there. Okay. Is the other way. Let's talk about the other way real quick. God, only have 8 minutes. Hey guys, we're going to move on to the other way. All right. So Devin is going to Korea to be with dumbass Jahoon, who's quit his job, and she's very worried. She's leaving Drusilla at home for 2 weeks until she figures out the situation in Korea. And then her mom and Drusilla and her dad are going to come to Korea. I'm very worried for her. Jihoon doesn't look trustworthy at all. I'm very, very worried for Devin. And I hope she doesn't go into some bullshit. Also, in her confessionals, like they had to do a retaping and she came back with better hair and better makeup. And it looks like after she lost the baby weight. So I thought that was a really interesting thing. I'm like, are we supposed to believe this is the same day? Because it doesn't look like the same day at all. We see the model that we've been seeing on Instagram in the confessional where she's like, has her hair done and it looks different. Her makeup is different. It's less raccoony. But yeah, so that's for them. Rebecca and Ziad, it's all Rebecca's fault. So they go out and Rebecca doesn't want no man telling her what to do, even though she's in his country and he's asking her to dress a little bit more conservatively because he doesn't want men to look at her because he's jealous. I do see what she's saying, but if this were the US, she would have all the right to fight. But the fact is that she really doesn't know. His English isn't good enough to truly explain himself. And he's been telling her why he doesn't want her to dress the way she does. They get to the place. Someone starts to stare at her tattoos because she finally takes off her thing because she's like, I'm a bad person. Because he says, you know, in Tunisia, women who dress like you are considered bad. And the thing I was thinking is like whores or like whatever. And so he's just using the word bad because he doesn't want to say whore because he thinks whore is a bad word, which to me is just like, okay, you're a prostitute, whatever, live your life. And so he's like, you know, don't dress this way, don't dress this way. And she's insistent. She's like, it's going to be fine. You're going to be fine. It's like she just wants to like force him to like be okay with it. But I'm like, you're in his country, sis. You are in his country. He is telling you. He has explained to you several times in his broken English why he doesn't want you to dress like that. And you insisted. And now you're out and some man is staring at all your tattoos because that's a novelty here. He's never seen a sleeve. His friends are, oh my God, I forgot about the fucking friends. Staring at the tattoos, and then he gets up to try to get into an argument because the man is staring. And that man, I love the man who came back at Ziad. He's like, since when am I your friend? Number one. Number two, she's got her arm out and I'm looking at her tattoos because she's sitting next to me. I can look if I want to. You need to sit down. I was ready for that fight to pop off. I was ready for it. I was ready for it. But let's backtrack to Ziad meeting his friends and being more excited about playing soccer on camera than introducing his friend to his woman. Because they got to that soccer field and he went to start playing. And she's like, Ziad, come here. Can you introduce me? He's like, oh yeah, this is Rebecca. And then they start to ask her all kinds of questions that are inappropriate because they're very confused and they have a lot of questions. And I know why they're asking it because they don't know any better. They're like 25, 26. They've never seen an American woman up close. He's been showing them pictures of her. Now they want to see her tattoos. So he lets his friends see the tattoos. And then she explains that they cost $3,000 each. I'm just like, girl. They're like, Ziad, yes, you get that rich white lady. You get that rich white American. You know, that's what they're thinking. And I would be thinking the same way too if somebody told me that they spent $3,000 on an arm. That's what I think about anybody who has a sleeve of tattoos. I'm like, fuck, how much money did you spend? Because to me, it's not worth it, right? I'm trying to think of what I would spend $3,000 on or $6,000 over the course of a certain amount of time. What would I spend that money on? And I would be like, and what? I don't care. I can't think of one item besides food. Some king crab, you know, some oxtails, some expensive ass food. I can't even imagine. Yes, Amber, he was feeling himself. He was like, yes, this is all me, all me. And I just didn't like it. I just was like, this isn't working. This is not working for me. All right. So who's next? The other way. Paul and Karine. So Karine gets mad at Paul. She goes to be with her mom. And then her and her mom decide that they're just going to go back to Medellin. Is that what it is? And that's the major city that they live in. That's 5 hours away. And so by the time Paul awfully walks over, the dad's like, nah, they left. So Paul gets on a boat. He finds Karine. He tries to confront her. And he then says all the wrong things because he really needs to drive home that the reason why he behaved the way he behaved is because of her. While she is wrong, if he's trying to make amends, that wasn't the way to do it. And I really don't know what they're fighting about. I mean, they could be fighting about the fact that he wants a paternity test at every turn, or the fact that he mistreats her because he has manic moments and episodes. But she just needs to get a divorce from him. Their house is so dirty, y'all. Let's talk about that dirty ass house. Lima Bima, but you hurt my feelings. And then when he's like, no talk to Paul. Fala Karine, fala Karine, fala Karine, fala Karine, fala Karine, fala. No talk. Just like, Jesus effing, like, stop it. Stop talking in that patronizing high tone voice. I hate it. Oh my God, I hate it. And the house, I just could not. I didn't know where they were. I thought she was in someone else's house that has a million children running around. There is no way that two adults who live in that house, they left it like that. They went to wherever the town is on the Amazon and they left that house looking like that. I don't get it. I just don't get it. But Karine is not that old walk. Karine too. She knows how to clean. I don't believe that. Claudette, when you have money, you do whatever you want. I just like people who try their best to spend other people's money. Oh, I don't know what that means. Okay, there's a lot going on. I can't read it. She's 23. Someone said, can't Paul and Karine hire someone to clean up their dang house? Oh, I get what you're saying. Well, that's what Karine gets, thinking just because he's white in America that he's rich. I mean, that's what everybody thinks. The song is back. Send in hoarders. It's bad. I mean, for them to not have that much stuff and for it to just be all clothes is like crazy. It's crazy that it's so crazy. It's just, I don't know what to say. I do not know what to say. Besides, this pregnancy must be really hard on her. So maybe once the baby's born, she'll clean the house. Girl, I do not know. But I just am like, that house is terrible. Paul is annoying, and he's like, I messed up. And he's like, you want me to go? You want me to go? Leave? And she's like, yes, Paul, leave. How many times did I tell you to leave? Leave. And he tries to kiss her, and she's like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. So, anyways, they both get on my nerves. They're both wrong. They both get on my nerves. Anyways. Okay, what else? 575 people in this room, 252 likes. You guys are doing the Lord's work. Thank you so much for joining us. Who else do we have to talk about? Tiffany and Ronald. Oh, shit. Tiffany and Ronald. Her mom had the exact reaction I would have had. Daniel had the exact reaction he needed to have to make everybody happy. So I'm happy that Daniel's happy. I think she's dumb for getting pregnant to an ex-gambler who she hasn't lived with for a year to see if he can hold the money together, because who knows what's going to happen when he gets stressed out. I do like the little clip from next episode where she's like, you need to shut the F up right now. And I was like, yes, Tiffany. Thank you, mama. Stand up for yourself. But I mean, she's like, you're going to be there for the baby's birth. And she kept saying something about like, she doesn't know. She's nervous about having the baby in South Africa because she doesn't know how giving birth in South Africa is going to be. And I just like, people give birth in South Africa all the time. Why would it be not? If she look up some kind of statistic to see that the birth rate in South Africa is lower than it is in the US? I mean, I guess I understand. I'm not a mom, so like, I don't know that. But I think if I had chosen to move to a foreign country, I'd have to take the healthcare that comes with it. So that would be my thought. You know, it's like, oh, I want to move to Ecuador. Like, what is going to the doctor going to be like? You know, that's the first thing I think. I'm not moving anywhere. Like, I need my Kaiser Permanente. Thank you very much. And so this is going to be a good experience for her because she didn't get to experience Daniel's pregnancy because she didn't know she was pregnant the whole time. Ooh, that's got to be scary. I would be so scared. Anyways, so yeah, she tells her mom is upset about it, but then is okay about it when Daniel's so happy. Daniel's so happy to be a big brother. I love Daniel. He makes this all worth it. And Ronald's getting upset because the mom is like, you need to consider having the baby in the US so I can be there to help you. And Ronald's like, I'm going to be there for the birth of my baby. And I'm just like, okay, Ronald. Yeah, I think he should be. They're married. They're married. He should be there. So there's that. Let's see. Who else? Who else is in this episode? The other way. Jihoon, Paul and Karine, Ronald, Zied. No Angela and Michael this episode. They give us Angela and Michael every other episode because they're just like baiting us because they know that's all we want to know about is Angela and Michael. We already talked about Darcey. Mormon man. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we have Corey and Evelyn. He slept in a hammock, which sounds like a dream to me because she locked him out. She opens the door, lets him in, and they resolve to make up. She says, even though yesterday she was so staunchly against letting go of her ex-boyfriend and told Corey to get the F over it, I think what happened is that she realized that that now that Corey knows about the whole town talking shit about him and that she had a relationship with Raul, I think she realizes that she will lose Corey and his support if he decides to walk away. And so she doesn't want to. And so she's like, I like Corey. I like sleeping next to him and blah, blah, blah. And I just don't believe it at all because the way she was treating him was so rude and uncalled for that all of a sudden now she's like, okay, I'll stop talking to my ex. I don't believe she's going to stop talking to him for 1 second. I think she just got back into a corner and realized that the only way is to break up, and it won't be with her looking good. It will be with her looking bad. And so she's going to wait, strike up an argument with him later. But I don't know, though, because he has to go home because in real life, his father passed away, right? So he goes back home to be with his family. And I noticed that she doesn't go with him. And I'm like, why wouldn't you go with him? So maybe I'm wrong. But I think Evelyn I don't like that relationship. I think that she's a user. Not that I think she's a user. I think she's perfectly fine with figuring it out on her own. But I think she's an opportunist. And I don't like it. I don't like it. All right, who else is there? I'm asking you guys, like I didn't watch it. I'm just over it. I'm over the other way, I think. And I'm still with before the 90 days because of Akini and Ben and like a few other people. But I just am like, I just need for things to move along so much faster, and they're just not. Can you believe the other way is like 14 episodes? What have we been watching? No one has, like, Devin is just barely going to Korea. Like, Rebecca was the first one who went. Paul's been there. Angela hasn't gone back yet. Who else is there? Oh, no, Angela is from before the 90 days. Who else is in the other way? Sumit and Jenny. Okay, she's been there. We didn't have a Sumit and Jenny this episode either. I guess Ronald and her have already been there too. So I guess the only people that were waiting to get to the foreign country is Devin. So it's taking them so long. All right, you guys. So that is the end of this episode. I want to thank you guys so much for rocking with me the last hour. There are 606 people here on a Wednesday, 1 p.m. California Pacific Standard Time. That is amazing. 274 likes. You guys have come through. You came through. I will say hi to Chris for you guys. Last I checked, she was doing hot Pilates. So she's working out. She might be home by now. Let's see, what else? That's it. I'll see you guys before Labor Day, but just in case I don't, you guys in the States have a happy Labor Day. Eat plenty of barbecue, hang out with the fam bam. And that's it. Oh, it's 9:07 there, Amanda? Cool. Thank you for watching me before you go to sleep. All right, you guys have an amazing week. Thank you so much for joining me. Those of you guys who are not watching this live, let's have a kiki and a conversation down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode, these 2 episodes. This was a hell of a week. And I'll see you guys for Love After Lockup next week with my sister, hopefully, or it will be a live video. Or it'll be a live video. And so, yeah, I want to thank those of you guys who did super chats. I want to thank all of my moderators, Tiana, Lynn J. I don't know if Jesse Lee got into the room today, but I want to thank you guys. Thank you for all the people who hold me down. Lucy, for always sending me great things on Instagram, inspirational stuff. Danny, Quasimodo, Zane, Mariah. Oh, Mariah, I didn't see you were here this whole time. Hi, Mariah. I want to thank everybody who gave me a super chat. You guys were so generous and so great this episode. I mean, I'm flawed and I'm odd. I am flawed, but I'm odd and floored, which together is flawed. Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. I hope that I was entertaining for you, and I hope that you had a fun time. I will definitely tell Chris that you guys all said what's up. All right, so remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Also, don't forget to check out my merch below. Bye, Kimmy.